Hello, hello. It's time for fishing, friends. How's everybody doing tonight? This is Fishing Friends with Danny and Gina. I'm Danny,
No, I'm Gina.
and I got my bird flying around too, Lazuli. I hope everybody's having a good night. I'm having a pretty good night. Actually, just got back home from a friend's graduation party
Oh,
over at
nice.
Mattingly's, a little local bar and restaurant.
We're gonna be there for breakfast tomorrow.
Yep. Gina goes there for breakfast every Sunday.
Yeah. I just got home from work. It was a pretty good, okay day.
You know,
It was an okay day.
nothing super crazy today.
No, nothing too crazy.
Well, that's good.
It was just a Saturday. We had a huge rush come. Not like so when I say morning rush, I mean first 4 hours of business, not necessarily morning, because on Saturdays we open at 10. But yeah, like a mid-morning rush came in. Like everybody came in. It was crazy.
Wow.
It was a little crazy there for a second, but then it was like a normal Saturday after. People would come in waves.
Nice. I finally got myself I haven't gotten it yet, but I ordered an overflow.
Oh yeah.
So I got stupid thing. I ordered the Eclipse M overflow box.
Yep, that's the one I have.
Bulk Reef Supply. Up to
Yep.
800 gallons per hour, so that should be fine for my 60-gallon breeder. And
Yep.
It's got the regular output and then the emergency output as well.
Mhm. Yep.
That's great. And it was only $150, not too bad, especially since they had free shipping over $50. So if you're looking for a good overflow, that's what it looks like from inside the tank.
Right.
And then that's what you got on the outside of the tank. So I think they said it's only 3 inches in depth. So really, you only have to have your tank, about 3 inches away from the wall. So that's a good benefit, and something that I'm really looking forward to with that. Now the next thing I need to decide is if I want to do flexible tubing, or if I want to go hardcore and make a really nice PVC system, which I probably will end up doing the PVC.
Mine's PVC.
Ever since I ordered that from Bulk Reef Supply, I've been getting so many ads from Bulk Reef Supply on YouTube. And they're just showing you all these different benefits to these different things. And I've recently found out from these, commercials and stuff that when it comes to saltwater aquariums, people don't just like to trick out their aquarium. They like to trick out the filtration system. So Bulk Reef Supply has some crazy fancy looking sumps, which actually gave me some different ideas for when I'm gonna, make my DIY sump. And looking at their prices of their sumps, I'm very glad I decided to go DIY instead of purchasing one of their sumps. Because to get the same sort of 20 long sump with basically all the glass and stuff that I want, I'm gonna spend $800 or something like that. It's holy cow, I could build that for $50.
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure. Did you see the fancy RGB sumps, with the lighting, the LED lighting in them?
Yeah.
So stupid expensive.
Right. Yeah. I did kind of like the fancy glass work and stuff with the little fish in the middle for the water to flow through.
Oh, the trigger system ones. Yeah, that's what we sell at work.
Yeah.
keep the 34 and the 39s in stock.
Yeah. Those are expensive though, man.
They are expensive.
Really expensive.
Really
Speaking of
expensive.
expensive, let's take a look at the chat here. We got Crazy Catfish Cave. I don't know how that doesn't make any sense.
Perfect segue. Perfect.
We
Spot
got
on.
Lady Rorschach here, and we got Sage P. Lindsay with the person turquoise waving.
Yeah.
I love StreamYard. Bunny Viper is here. Great to see you, Ivy. Freaky Fish Lady. How are you doing, Holly? And Al Wet Sox is here. It's good to see people here. I know there's a lot of different streams going on this Saturday night. I know like Rico Stan's going. I'm pretty sure in like just like 3 minutes, Alex with the Secret History Living Your Aquarium is going to be going. And then in like 30 minutes, Vinny's going to be going. So if I don't get an incredibly huge audience tonight, that's totally understandable. What's up, 3G? How you doing? But yeah, I used my $25 Amazon gift card, like I said I was going to last weekend, and I bought myself some spirulina powder. And since I was buying that on Amazon, if I got $25 equivalent of stuff shipped from Amazon, I get like free shipping or something like that too. So I was gonna get some brine shrimp, and I was gonna get my shrimp from Brine Shrimp Direct because that's where I got the spirulina powder from. It was Brine Shrimp Direct. But for some reason on Amazon, they had the spirulina powder ready to go, but the actual like brine shrimp eggs, they had to order specifically from Brine Shrimp Direct. So it wasn't equivalent to get like the free shipping and all that stuff. So I ended up getting like some other like off brand of brine shrimp eggs. But I was just trying to use my entire $25 worth and didn't really know what else to buy for an additional like $8. So
Right.
but I ended up getting those. And so that's why if you look at the brine shrimp tank, it's like a little extra cloudy because I've been putting spirulina powder in there and mixing it up. And it's every time I put a little bit of spirulina powder in there, it tends to like just sit at the surface, and then like it's the bubbles start to become like almost like soap bubbles to where they'll kind of stay there. And so I have to like kind of use like a little stick and kind of mix
Whisk it
down to get it all into the water.
You should get one of those. You see them with people who mix coffee or those protein powders. That we have one. I use it to froth my creamer or my milk for my coffee. But yeah, you should get one of those little electric stirrers.
Yeah, I could do that. And I mean, what I could always do too, instead of just taking a little bit of powder and trying to just dump it into the tank, like I could more actually like take a little bit of RO water and then put the powder in there and then actually like mix it into the RO and then put it into the tank. That's probably what I'll start doing from now on. Yeah, it's not mixing the best. But man, I'm telling you, ever since I've been using the spirulina powder, I have definitely noticed that a lot of the babies have been like successfully growing a whole lot more. So yeah, you really can't see them at all, except there's a little one popping around down at the bottom of the rocks right now. But I was actually looking in the tank today, and two of the ones that I guess would qualify as adult brine shrimp based on their size, I noticed one the other day that had these two little weird bumps on the backside, and I wasn't quite sure what it was. And I was like, well, who knows? Maybe it's like that one's female or something like that. And then, yeah, sure enough, today, I think you can see them both going right in front of the filter and the rocks right now. There's two of them that are like stuck together. Like the one's like swimming upside down, and right where the tail would be, another one's like head is like sitting right there, and they're just like attached, swimming around in the tank. And it just reminds me of I've seen insects flying around like that too,
like
mating.
dragonflies.
So
yeah.
I'm assuming they're mating, which is fantastic. I'm really excited to actually get a colony of brine shrimp going, so I don't have to add eggs. And then once I have like an actual cycle going, like that'll be really, really cool.
Yeah. That would be dope on a rope.
Algae onto wet rock and let it dry and put it back. I see. Yeah, that's kind of interesting. But as you can see, like there's already a bunch of algae growing on the rocks. But I don't know, they feed from the water column, but then I will notice like they will kind of go on the bottom and stuff and kind of sit there and kind of soak up a little bit from the algae in different areas.
Mm-hmm. It's funny. Somebody else, when a customer came in, was asking about spirulina powder. I was like, no, we don't. Sorry.
But you can get a good price from it on Amazon, or just go to breinshrimpdirect.com.
Yeah.
I'm gonna grab that.
Jimmy P, what's up? What's up?
Jimmy P, what's up? Yeah, so I got the focus. There we go. Spirulina powder. And I'm telling you, like it's powder. Like
super fine.
Super fine. 99% pure blue-green algae harvested from a controlled environment, rich in carotenoids, putative immunostimulant, high in protein. 59.2% protein, 5.74% fat, 7.2 ash, and 8.87% moisture. I always love that moisture. Best is used within 6 months of purchase. Well, I'm not sure if I'm going to go through this in 6 months. Probably not.
That'll be fine.
It's all right. It's not for me. It's for brine shrimp. And then V Point Fish Foods was the brine shrimp eggs that I ended up going with, and the little bag actually looked a lot bigger on the website. But when I realized, brine shrimp eggs are pretty darn small, so this is gonna last quite a while. It's half an ounce, so.
Oh, is that the shrimp snow?
No, that's the brine shrimp eggs.
Oh, brine shrimp eggs. Sorry, it's the same brown paper packaging as the shrimp snow that I got at the Triple Crown.
Artemia cysts.
Sorry, I spaced out for a second. It's been a long day.
Yeah, there we go.
I have a whole thing of brine shrimp eggs from Bulk Reef Supply. Like it's a container about yay big, and it's just all brine shrimp eggs. I mix it in with my coral food.
I've definitely noticed that these brine shrimp eggs are like a brighter red than the other brine shrimp eggs that I have. So I think these are definitely a better quality. And that's probably another reason I'm noticing so many more like bigger baby brine shrimp and stuff in the tank this time, is because I used these eggs instead of the other eggs as well. Because the other eggs were just some cheap brine shrimp eggs that I found at Tropical World Pets. I don't remember the brand, but they were like super cheap, no sense of like a guaranteed hatch rate or anything like that on there. Like Brine Shrimp Direct, they have like a 90% guaranteed hatch rate. These also, they're at the bottom, say 90% hatch rate, and it says 18 to 36 hours hatch time as well, which I've reduced the hatch time by, putting a heater on the tank and keeping it at tropical temperatures.
Right.
I have a coffee can full of brine shrimp eggs. Well, that's cool. Vibes Aquatics is here. How you doing, Vibes?
Vibes. So I got a new card game. So that if Brennan like cancels his game nights again, like how he did the other time, it's like what's it called? Let me go grab it. Hold on.
Yeah, that's the one that I have in the little vial. It almost looks like dirt. Yeah.
So it's called Let's Get Deep Friends Edition, and it's like conversation starters. Like there's level 1, which is icebreakers, level 2, which is deep, and then 3 is deeper. So yeah, there's conversation starter cards, questions for friends. There's also a couples edition, and then there's like a explicit couples edition. So I figured this was YouTube appropriate. I figured this was YouTube appropriate, daytime YouTube appropriate.
Yeah, that totally sounds daytime YouTube appropriate. Silver Creek Aquatics, what's up, sir?
Silver Creek.
I heard you and B Wizzle are trying some different streaming stuff out. So.
Yeah, same, Bunny. I need to make some baby brine shrimp also. I've been too lazy to deal with the mess. I need to make and freeze some. Yeah, same.
Yeah. Oh, you can see the mating. Oh, now they're gone. It's like they disappear into like the algae cloud. But every once in a while, if you're looking at it, you can see like them swimming around in there. Yep. So that is a pretty successful brine shrimp tank now, and I put a different light on it now. It's the Aqueon Opti Bright Plus. I had it on the 20 long that I'm turning into the sump now, so I haven't been really using the light like really for a while now. But you can like actually adjust the different colors and set like a timer for the white light, the blue light, and the RGB, and you can change like the color temperatures of the RGB and stuff like that. So basically I have blue on 24/7, and then I have the white on from like 6:45 a.m. until like 12:30 p.m. or a.m., something like that, like on most of the time. And it kind of has a ramp on and ramp off too, which is nice. And then like the RGB is on like most of the time too. So the light's pretty much on 24/7 except for the white light, which turns off when I'm asleep pretty much. But now I don't have to sit there and do anything with the light, turn it on and off, change the colors myself.
Yeah, so it turns out this isn't really a game. It's literally just to have just conversations with your friends, to learn your friends better.
Yeah, there you go.
1 icebreaker deck, there's a deep deck, and 2 deeper decks.
Well, pull out that deep deck and let's ask some questions.
Okay.
Because that
you don't want to start with icebreakers?
Sketty Nona.
You don't want to start with icebreakers?
No, icebreakers are boring. Let's get to the deep shit.
Get to the deep stuff.
Oh, I did finally get my headlights all figured out.
Oh, did you? That's good.
But I'm never going to the Bridgeton AutoZone again because that dude was a complete jerk.
Aww.
So the AutoZone here next to my house in Florissant is really nice. They treated me very well. The dude was super enthusiastic when I was, getting my different headlights and exchanging them out and stuff like that. And he's like, "Oh man," and what was really frustrating about the whole AutoZone thing to begin with too is because both times I've used their website to try and figure out what exact parts I need for my specific car, it steered me wrong. I looked at the website for which headlights I need, and sure enough, it told me to buy the wrong headlights. So I had to go back and exchange the headlights. And that's when, I had the good experience at this one again. Dude was really enthusiastic. Yeah, you got to get the right parts, all that stuff. And he was just kind of funny and enthusiastic about his job. So it was fun. And then, I ended up running out to Target and stuff. And then I was like, well, I kind of forgot about when I was at that AutoZone. I wanted to look at some other stuff for like LED lights for the inside of my car and stuff. And so then I went to the AutoZone there in Bridgeton and bought some LED lights and plugged them in and they didn't work. And so I went inside to, try and go and exchange them. And the dude just started immediately giving me some attitude. Like, I guess he had like a trainee that day and he was probably just super frustrated because the chick had absolutely no idea what she was doing. Say, oh, well, you should ask him. Like, maybe he can help you figure out how to get them working. And the dude goes, like, I don't know anything about those lights or whatever. And I'm just like, well, I don't really know anything about them either, but in theory, they're plugged in and they plug into the cigarette lighter. So, and I've never had any issues with my cigarette lighters before. So I guess they just don't work. Like, can I just exchange them for another one? And he's like, no, like, I'm not going to let you exchange them or whatever. I'll let you go ahead and return them because I just got to throw these away or whatever. I'm just going to waste money on them. It's like, okay, well, I get that. And so it's just like, okay, well, I'm just going to go buy another one afterwards anyway. It's like,
right.
I mean, you can do that if you want, but whatever. Like, and so he returns it.
Yeah.
And so then I go buy another one. And he's like, sir, I told you I'm not going to sell you another one. I'm like, I just told you I was going to buy another one after you returned it. Now you said you weren't going to exchange it. I said I was going to buy another one. It's like, yes, sir, but I'm not going to sell you another one because there might. I'm like, well, why not? It's like, it's not my fault that there's something wrong with that one. Like, I just want to buy some lights at work or whatever, And it's just like, well, maybe there's something wrong with your car or whatever. And it's like, I'm not just going to waste $70 to just throw it away. I was like, it was $30. I'm just going to buy another one. And like, well, after that, I was like, screw you, dude. I'm never coming back to this AutoZone again. I was like, it just reminded me, like 15 years ago, that AutoZone was fantastic. My brother-in-law worked there back in the day. If you had an issue with your car, they'd look up your car. They'd help you with everything. If you needed a headlight replaced, they'd even ask if you needed assistance helping replace your headlight.
Yep.
Like, they would do everything for you. And I guess, maybe they eventually got in trouble with some different lawsuits because they're technically not mechanics and stuff like that. And maybe they got in trouble like diagnosing issues with people's cars. But nowadays, like, they just don't help at all. It's like Walmart for car parts. Just buy your shit and get the fuck out. Like, it's ridiculous. But then, so I went back to the Florissant AutoZone, bought some lights, and sure enough, they didn't work again. So come to find out, yes, it was an issue with my car. But, like I said, back in the day, the AutoZone guy would have helped me figure that out, and we would have been able to walk. I would have walked out with that same pair of lights that I had in the first place, would have ended up spending more money at that AutoZone buying myself a replacement fuse, which was all I needed, and just plugged the fuse in and the lights worked. So it's like, if the dude wouldn't have given me so much of an attitude and actually done his job right and helped the customer out that was just honestly looking for a solution to a problem, and if he would have helped me find that solution, I would have spent more money at his business and he would have had a good business day or whatever. But instead, he like tried to ruin my day and he had a shitty day and all that other stuff. And it's like, I ended up, passing on with the day and I was just fine. But it's just like, man, back in the day, they would have helped me and I would have known it. They would have told me, like, check your fuses, like stuff like that. Like, I had to figure this all out on my own by doing Google searches and stuff because nobody's willing to help you anymore.
Right.
Monster Fish Gal, what's up? Nano Aquarium Guy. You can't even get the cashier to toss. Right. George RB3, how's it going? Lady Rorschach. Non-urgent but annoying family call. Yeah, I know how that is. Ugh. We just heard some are selling their shopping bags. Yeah. I mean, that's what Aldi has always done. They charge you for bags. But they don't charge you for the boxes. So if, you find one of their their boxes that are almost empty because their chips are almost out, you just grab the box and you just take everything in the box.
They usually have that big, like, wire cage that has empty boxes in it.
Yeah. You can find that sometimes too. It's ridiculous. My daughter got him in high school too and moved him. Then my daughter decided I needed him.
Mm-hmm.
Turns out she was right.
They're selling their shopping bags. Yeah. Well, whenever small businesses like our business, like I had to go run to Sam's and get t-shirt bags. T-shirt bags is what shopping bags are called. I had to go buy some t-shirt bags for the store. So
Exactly. Self-service is the way of the future. And I even noticed that today. Like, so at Mattingly's, I thought it was actually like super beneficial to a point. So my waitress had a device that I had never seen in the restaurant business before. She had a
yep.
mobile point of service like system, like a fancy like cell phone thing that had a card reader and all that stuff. So she had access to everybody's tabs and all that stuff on a mobile device versus having to have like the central computer and have potential for errors in between time with random people asking you questions and all that other stuff. She just had a mobile thing and she just like handed it right to me with my card payment and stuff where I could input the tip and all that stuff right there. It was super handy. And I think those sort of things are actually very beneficial.
Yep.
But I don't like the tablet just sitting at the table and then you just end up with a waitress that their job is just specifically get your order, bring you your food, and refill your drink once or twice. Like they have absolutely no sort of like customer service interaction really at all. Okay, what do you want? All right, thanks. And then some other random person even brings you your food. It's not even your waitress that brings you your food most
Yeah,
of
it's
the
a
time
table runner.
nowadays.
Yeah.
It's so
So
ridiculous.
the device at Mattingly's, they can take the orders on it too. So yeah,
Yeah,
usually at breakfast she'll take your order on it and then submit it and goes right to the kitchen. There is no like losing your ticket. Yeah.
exactly. It's that is super handy and innovative, and that is using technology in a way that's actually beneficial and
So
doesn't take away from the customer service side of things.
so what's nice is that I kind of have that at work now too. So you know how we're moving everything to Shopify. I actually have the Shopify point of sale app on my phone. So yeah, I can be at the tanks with a customer adding what they want, making essentially a list.
Right into their
Yeah.
tab,
And
and
then I'm
then
like,
to
all right,
pull
let
it
me go
right
catch
up
them all.
on the register when you're cashing out.
Yeah. Well, actually, I cash
Exactly.
them out on my phone. But yeah, I can because we don't run the cards through Shopify. We have a separate third party credit card machine. So yeah, I can just do it all. But yeah, it's so nice because yeah, we just go through. Okay, you want this, want this, want this. This is going to be this much. All right, let me go start catching.
Yeah.
And that way, I have that list also, so I don't forget to catch anything. It's been super nice.
I try my best to bring my own bags to cut on the waste and the cost of bags, but I will admit that I do forget them.
We don't use. Yeah, we leave our bags at home for Aldi. We actually just throw everything in the trunk, and then we go inside, grab our 4 or 5 bags that we need, and then we bring them out and then start sorting everything into the bags.
So I don't really go grocery shopping. I don't actually use bags most of the time. Since I work for Schwann's, I get like almost all my food right from Schwann's. I just back the truck up right in my driveway and just pull whatever I want right off the truck and just pay for it right then and there on my device because I'm my own customer since I'm in my own zone. It's super beneficial that way. Especially, if I'm like $50 short from meeting a certain quota, I can just buy like $50 worth of food and I'm good to go.
Yep.
I can't really do that right now because my freezer's full as hell. But but when I go to the grocery store, I pretty much only go for a bag of coffee, one bottle of juice, and maybe some like coffee creamer. And I don't even necessarily get all those things at the same time. I might just go for a bag of coffee one day, just go for coffee creamer another day, and get a bottle of juice another day or something like that. So I don't even like really use bags. I just go to the self checkout and just beep 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 pay and walk out the door like. But I go to Deerberg's. I don't really go to like Aldi's or anything like that.
I do. I'm cheap. I like Aldi.
I think so. At Christmas, my parents gave me um 2 more gift cards to Aldi.
You mean to buy those off of you?
Well, oh, it was funny. Was I think didn't I give you my
You did.
Aldi? I did. So
Yeah.
I was telling them at Christmas, like when they gave these to me, it's like guys, I've tried telling you, like I don't shop at Aldi. Like
Yeah.
nothing wrong with Aldi. I just don't go there. It's just not the place where I do my shopping. So like I don't even think I used the gift card you guys gave me last year. I think I ended up just giving it to a friend because I don't go to Aldi.
Yeah.
And sure enough, it was you that
It was me.
I just gave it to. Like I think there's like $20 on there. I don't know. Here.
Yeah, it was like $20 or $25. Yeah. Yeah, I'll buy those off you if you need me to.
I told them I might go and just check out like their little junk section of random like things
Oh, I
of
love
like
those
pillows
sections.
and lamps and
There's
whatever else they
two
got.
aisles. There's 2 aisles. There's like just a rant like junk aisle and then like a seasonal aisle that's like half food, half junk. Oh, I love those aisles. Sometimes if we're like we know we don't have a lot to spend, we just skip over those aisles because Nathan's like,
Yeah.
nope, you're not even gonna be tempted. I'm like, come on, please.
Yeah. So I might just make a trip up there one day and take a look through their junk aisle and see what I can get. And they do have a couple things that I kind of like there. But like when it really comes down to it, like I even tried to explain to my parents, like when I go grocery shopping, I'm only going for like 3 things because I get all my stuff from Schwann's. And I want my name brand coffee that I enjoy. And I like my Coffee Mate creamer. No other creamer is as good as Coffee Mate. And like, I mean, juice, I could maybe like get some juice or something at Aldi's. Or like if I bought eggs or something like that, I can maybe get eggs and milk from Aldi.
Yep.
But I don't really get those things most of the time. Like unless I'm just have a certain craving for hard boiled eggs one day, I might get a dozen eggs and hard boil them all. But
Yep. Yeah, I like to add eggs to my ramen.
yeah, I don't eat ramen that often though.
Uh, what's a random thing you know a lot about?
Well, fish,
Fish and gardening. Yeah, I can answer this
fish,
for you. Fish and
gardening.
gardening.
Um, yeah, fish, gardening.
I don't actually have an answer for this because I actually don't know. What's the story behind how your parents met?
How my parents met. So my father was actually my mother's Sunday school teacher.
Hmm.
Um, they were relatively close in age, so it's not like as creepy as you can make it out to be. Like, oh, my dad was the creepy Sunday school teacher into my underage mother or anything like that. Like, no, it wasn't anything like that necessarily. But that's kind of how they met. And they went to the same high school. They went to the same college even. My mom went to the St. Louis College of Pharmacy, same as my dad. But they were, years apart. I think my dad graduated high school before my mom even went there. And
Gotcha.
then my dad was in like his last year of college when my mom was in like her first year of college. And like that's when they were like really hitting it off and dating and all that stuff. And then they ended up, getting married. And my mom got pregnant soon after. And then she decided, I don't need to go to college anymore. I found my man who makes the money that he needs to make to raise our family. So they ended up raising all of us 5 kids after that. So
Yeah. Next. If you and your friends made a time capsule to be opened in 10 years, what item or items would you put in it?
oh, I don't know. Uh Well, probably one of these want a cuddle stickers.
Right? I would probably take like my last phone, not my current phone, obviously, but like the one I just like retired. I would probably put that in there.
Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, put
Yeah.
put a really old phone in there.
Not a really old one. Like I do have like 4 phones ago. I do have like my
Well,
last 4 phones. But yeah,
I say really old, but
yeah,
10 years down the road, it's going to be a really old
it's
phone.
gonna be an ancient phone,
Yeah.
yeah. And then
I would
maybe
put one of my Glass Box Hero guitar picks in there.
there you go.
And then just like the Nano Aquarium guy said, yeah. And then
Perfect, yeah.
a piece of that lush hair.
A lock of your hair.
Yeah, I would, if it wasn't a true time capsule, yeah, I'd probably, put my hair back and I'd cut off like, I don't know, like a couple inches, just like cut off like ponytail it like right there and just cut off that much.
Your split ends.
Who knows?
You'll put your split ends in
Maybe
there.
I'll be bald in 10 years or something like that. Like you never know. And
it's just what everybody wants, all of Danny's split ends.
Really old equals last week. Yeah.
Throw some dried out duckweed in there. They rehydrate and hate. I don't know. What else?
That is an interesting question. I don't think about time capsules a lot.
Right. Who is the first person you call to share good news with? Or text. Call or text.
I don't really reach out to anybody like that most of the time, even when I get good news. The first people that I reach out to nowadays for just any sort of news or good news is I just wait for this live stream and just talk about it all on the live stream.
Oh my gosh, we so special.
And so it's kind of the fish fam right now. I mean, I got some really good friends, but I'm not really the type of person that just reaches out and I mean, it depends. So if it's good news, like, okay, so like when I bought my Metallica tickets, like, yeah, I wanted to tell the guy that I bought the tickets for as well, but I actually didn't like reach out and text him or call him or anything like that. I wanted to wait until I was in person so that I could see his face when I told him that I had Metallica tickets.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I'm still kind of old school in that way. I like to tell people things in person versus just be like, hey, I got a new job on text message or whatever. Like, I don't know. That just seems a little, I don't know. You don't get the visual reaction that I love so much.
Yeah. Me, it depends on what the good news is. So, like, if I do something in a video game, then I'll call my best friend Kelsey because she's the one who cares. She'll like hype me up. But if it's like general good news, if it's like super, like if I'm super excited about it and can't contain it, then I'll text Nathan about it, or I just wait till I get home and I'm like, guess what happened today? Because yeah, I can do the arm waving and all that stuff in person. But yeah, it just depends. Or if it's like girl stuff, makeup stuff, like if some new palette's coming out that I'm excited for, I'll call my sister because she's the one who cares about makeup. So it just depends.
Yeah, like I mean, yeah. So like if all of a sudden I was able to score like a 50-acre like plot of land or something like that and was able to like start like my community or something like that, like I would reach out to my buddy Roman. And then after that, I probably brag to my oldest sister because that's the sort of thing that she wants as well. And so I'd be like, haha, I got it first. But yeah.
That's funny. What's the strangest dream you've ever had?
Man, I've had some really, really strange dreams before.
I actually just had one and I only remember bits and pieces. It's one of those, you have to tell it as soon as you have it because you start forgetting fragments of it.
Yeah.
like, we were at some place, and I don't know if it was a party or like through work or whatever, but Frank, my coworker, announced that he was quitting. And everybody was so upset about it. Everyone's like, "No, you can't quit. We need you." That was like a main segment of the dream. I don't remember the rest of it, but I just remember being sad, waking up that Frank's quitting. Oh wait, it was a dream. Okay.
Yeah. I've had some weird sort of like, I guess like sort of PTSD type dreams semi recently, where I've just had dreams that I'm still working at Pet Supplies Plus under my miserable boss and all that other stuff, just completely hating life and just like still like that feeling of being stuck or whatever there. Like
Yeah.
that's kind of the weird dreams I've been having recently. But the first thing that really popped in my head when you asked like a strange dream was a dream that I had when I was a kid. And interestingly enough, what makes it most strange is my brother also had like the same exact dream and maybe even had it on the same night for all we know.
Huh.
Um, but it was a dream where we kind of had this like little extra room off of the like third floor bedroom of our house, and we both like in our dream or whatever, we open up the door to the room, and inside is like this massive like tiger sized yellow jacket wasp, and
What?
it just like starts to like basically like chase us like an Indiana Jones movie sort of thing, and then we like slam the door shut and we wake up.
Yeah.
And that year we had like a crazy amount of like bees and wasps just all over the place. Like it was a terrifying summer of like bees and wasps for like both of us. But
Aw.
I think maybe even that year was the year that my brother might have gotten attacked by yellow jackets in our basketball hoop right before we took our family trip to Branson.
Hmm.
So yeah, crazy, crazy stuff. But yeah, that was one of the strangest dreams I ever had.
Crazy.
I think I
Oh,
saw Lefty 3213 Alpha.
lucky. Oh, good follow up. What's the weirdest date you've ever been on?
I appear to be extremely late. Yeah. The weirdest date I've ever been on. Um, so I met this girl on Tinder, I believe, and she seemed really cool. We were communicating like pretty well on Tinder. Like she was actually kind of funny, which is a good quality and stuff to have. And she seemed like pretty cute and all that stuff. And so it was like, all right, it was really exciting. And she lives like all the way out in like Troy. So I found like I think we ended up going to like Olive Garden. Like I found like an Olive Garden in between us so that we could like meet up there. And like when we first met in person, like there was just something kind of strange. I couldn't quite put my finger on what it was. And like the date itself, like we were communicating fine. She's a really nice person. Everything was great. We were making jokes. We were actually joking about the waitress the whole time because the waitress was like ridiculous.
Mm.
And like just the waitress was like really strange. Just in general. And
Yeah.
so like, we were kind of making fun of that and all that stuff. So the date itself was actually, pretty enjoyable. But the whole time there was just something kind of weirding me out, and I couldn't quite figure out what it was. And about halfway through the date, I finally figured out what it was. And I just like I just couldn't figure out how to tell her and get it right. But then finally at the end of the date when I was like walking her to her car, I was just like, I just got to be honest with her. So it's just like, listen, I had a lot of fun, and you're a really nice gal, and maybe we can be friends, but I your mannerisms and the way that you move and you talk just reminds me of my Aunt Laura.
Oh
And
no.
I just can't get past it, and I'm really sorry because you're a really nice girl, but it's just really awkward, and I'm sorry.
Yeah. Oh no.
Yeah, so that's probably my most awkward date or weird date.
Mine was probably like back when I was in high school. You know, we were too young to like drive ourselves, and I went on a date with a guy, and his parents tagged along. We went to the movies, and like they didn't sit with us, but it was just still weird. It was weird.
Yeah.
Um, what is the most adventurous thing you've ever done? I don't really do adventures. Shut up, Nathan.
It depends on what you think of as adventurous, because I
Yeah,
got a couple different stories. I
I'm
mean,
boring.
if we're talking about adventurous as in like, I don't know, like true danger or something like that, like I went to Iraq.
Right. Oh, that's right. I keep
If we're
forgetting.
talking about like what gets your like adrenaline pumping in general and is just kind of like, I don't know, like whatever, like I don't know, I got laid in the middle of Creve Coeur Park.
Oh my god. I don't know. Like, I'm pretty boring. I'm sure that I probably have a story. I'm just not recalling one right now.
Danny Kid Aquatics, what's up?
Yeah.
How's it going, Kenny E? Something that was out of my comfort zone. Yeah, I got a couple of those.
Right.
Starting YouTube.
Yeah, starting YouTube, I guess. It is
zone.
out of my comfort zone.
Yeah.
Starting a new job, yeah, at the LFS. Yeah, that came from starting YouTube. Is funny. Oh, I still haven't played. I keep joking about playing your and Fishy Biz's interview with my boss. I keep joking about playing it on the speaker when our boss is there, and I haven't done it yet.
That'd be funny.
Just to see what he does. Like, have music playing and then just switch it and see how long it takes him to notice it.
How old are they now? I don't know why I'm missing the context of who they is. How old are they now?
The girl that you went on the date with? I don't know.
Oh yeah, I don't know the context of who they is. Sorry, Craig. Or something popped up. My weirdest date was with a mortician student. He showed up in an old hearse, which was awesome, but he had a rabbit head on the antenna. That shit had to go before I got in the car. Nice guy, but a little creepy. Yeah. I don't know. Like, I kind of get it, but I'm one of those people that I'm kind of fascinated by, like, taxidermy and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like, my grandfather has a like a 10-point buck that it's like from like the neck up on his wall, and like I haven't brought it up yet, but when he goes one of these days, that's one of the things that I want.
Yeah.
Is that deer head, and I want to put it right there in front of my TV.
Fish Tropic Canada, hello, hello. All right, next, describe your ideal retirement plan.
Fish Tropic Canada. My ideal retirement plan is just my general like life plan or whatever. Would be either here in the United States or more likely either someplace in Iceland or just maybe somewhere in like Norway or something too. I'm not 100% sure exactly where, but I want to live like in the middle of a forest, just like so nobody is like my direct neighbor, and I can just basically do whatever the hell I want, and just live off the land and retire and just do whatever I want in the middle of nowhere. Yeah. What about you? What's your retirement?
So yeah, I whatever investment or win the lotto or whatever finances are coming in, I hope to, I don't know, live in some kind of like nice assisted living place so I don't have to like do a whole lot. I'm super lazy. And like travel if I feel like it, like maybe go on a cruise every now and then. But yeah, just live that introvert dream of just sitting around not doing anything.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Just play video games all day or just start new projects that just keep me busy all day, like crocheting a new blanket or starting a puzzle or starting a new video game playthrough. Like, yeah.
I've always liked different hobbies and stuff like that. And, fish keeping was one of the hobbies that just like really stuck with me versus being more of like a seasonal hobby. Like the mead making seemed more like a seasonal hobby. Like I still find myself watching like distilling videos and stuff like that are kind of interesting me, but the actual like effort of going through all the making of mead and stuff like that is not as interesting to me anymore.
Yeah.
And so I'm not really doing that, but I've always just to be able to devote myself to all different sorts of hobbies would just be awesome. Like what Lady Diane does,
Yeah, exactly.
Just be able to completely devote herself to her fish tanks.
Mm-hmm.
And like, I mean, she still like does like work on the farm and stuff like that. She doesn't have nearly as much livestock as she used to have and all that, but like, yeah, but she just gets to take all of her time with her fish tanks. And that's one thing that I just really miss about like even working at like the pet store. Like I did have more time when I worked at the pet store, especially when she like forced me into basically being part-time, to where like I was just doing all different stuff with my fish tanks and filming everything and making all these different videos and stuff. And now I don't really have that sort of time anymore.
Looks like a feather.
Panoy Mix Blog. Thanks for hitting the like.
Have you ever borrowed something and not given it back? And if so, what was it?
My mom's Fry Daddy.
You're like, yep, nope, mine.
She hadn't used it in a while and went on her health kick, and I took it when I had an apartment, and the plan was to eventually give it back to her, but she never said anything about it. And then it went with me to my rental house, and then I think it went back with it. I don't know whatever happened to it. I think I eventually actually got rid of it, but yeah, I never gave it back to her. I don't think, or maybe maybe I did give it back to her.
Apparently, for us, it's a chainsaw and a propane space heater.
Well, technically, the chainsaw Bruce borrowed.
Yeah.
And then I called Daddy. They go, it's over there. So they okay, well, I'll go get it. It's still over here. And then
for me, I'm sure there is something that I've borrowed, probably from my sister. Oh, clothes. Like Kane's borrowed a couple shirts from his cousin that we never gave back, but now he's outgrown it. So, I think hair ties. Like little piddly things like that. Dishes. Yeah. I'm sure that there's dishes in the kitchen that we've borrowed and never gave back.
Show you which one. Right
like now. A casserole dish or two. Yeah.
Oh yeah. I mean, I have friends that, every so often they'll send me home with a Tupperware full of food, and I don't think I've ever given them Tupperwares back. Except I did give them a big Tupperware back. They gave me like a big, like full pasta dish in a Tupperware. I gave that back.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah, that's why like now whenever we go to my sister's house and she starts packing up food for us, we're like, no, just put it literally into gallon bags, because if you put it in Tupperware, we won't give it back. Yeah. It won't come back.
It's never on purpose.
It just never happens.
Yep. I mean, most of the time that Tupperware is pretty cheap anyway, so yeah. It's not like that fancy, what was that? What was that brand? Was it
Tupperware?
Tupperware. Yeah, maybe it was Tupperware. was the actual brand of the good stuff. Yeah.
Do you currently owe any favors to anyone?
I don't think so. I'm not big. I don't think I ever have gotten to the point where I've really owed anybody anything.
I think I owe Elena, my coworker, a lunch or two, because she'll come in late coming from a maintenance and she's like, all right, I'm going to Cane's. Do you want anything? And I'm like, heck yeah, I do. So I think she doesn't keep tabs and it kind of makes me feel bad about it. So I'm sure I owe her a lunch or two.
The only thing I'm thinking of is I feel like I owe you money for corals or something, but
nah.
I got people that owe me, but I don't.
Yeah, Nathan says he has people that owe him, but he doesn't really owe anybody anything.
I think I might have a friend that might still owe me some money, but when it comes down to it, I don't really care that much. $5 here, $10 there, whatever. Like it's.
Oh, that's true.
It's not a big deal, but at a certain point, I won't just continuously loan you money if if I know you owe me money.
Right. We owe a family member owns his own heating and cooling business, and he replaced our heater. So yeah, we owe him for that.
And I guess I technically owe my dad for a lot of stuff, but I mean, he's my dad.
Yeah.
But I mean, without him, I wouldn't have my house. I wouldn't have my car. I wouldn't have a lot of different things. So I technically owe my dad, I think $80,000 still, but we're working on that.
We're working on it. If you started your own business, what would you want to do? I would not want to own my own business.
Yeah, when it really comes down to it, I don't want to own my own business, and that's why I don't own my own business. Even when I've tried to start little businesses, I always end up not wanting to do it once it actually starts to get to a true business level. But I got a family hardware store that I could totally, work at and eventually own if I wanted to, but I don't want to. But I think something I always had an idea for, which Missouri is finally almost ready for now, since they, voted for legalization. I wanted to start a coffee pot shop.
There you go.
It was all in one. Call it Wake and Bakes.
Wake and Bakes. Yes.
And so we'd have Wake and Bakes coffee and cakes. Where you got coffee, different sort of edible coffee cakes, things like that, and it's gonna be kind of that. It's gonna be kind of like the idea of a bar, but instead of a bar where you go to get hyped up and party and stuff like that, it's more of a place where people go to gather and chill. And we would have our local artist of the month, where I would post all their pictures and stuff all over the walls, and everything would be for sale from the actual artists.
Yeah.
And stuff like that. And maybe even I have a friend that does a lot of handmade soaps and things like that too. So maybe have a little like gift shop like section too, you know, like what even like Starbucks has with their little like mugs and things like that, you know, where I could have like her handmade soaps for sale and her different like cannabis oils for massages and things like that. So that was kind of what my business idea was.
Yeah.
That I've been thinking about for a good long time, actually.
Yeah, Bunny says, so like a European cafe. Yeah.
Kind of like a European cafe. Yeah.
All right. What was the most memorable school dance you've attended?
I don't know. I had fun at all my different school dances, and some of them were all memorable for different reasons.
Yeah.
One was memorable because I took a girl from a different school and she knew absolutely nobody else from the school except me. So it was just really awkward to begin with.
Yep.
And I don't know, my senior prom was pretty cool because like I wore my dress greens from the military because I was already 1 year into the Army at that point. But at the same time where I wore that, there was some JROTC idiot wearing his dress blues with all of his fancy fake ribbons and all that stuff that the JROTC people have. So when it really came down to it, he made me, the actual Army person, look bad. So that was a little disappointing. But on the other hand, I did really enjoy it. I had a girlfriend at the time that we had just gotten past like the 6-month mark at that point. So I don't know. That was definitely a lot of fun. My senior prom was pretty great, I gotta say.
Yeah. So kind of the same. Each one was memorable for different reasons. The first school dance I went to, I was actually dating an upperclassman. I was dating a junior and I was a freshman. So I never like wore makeup and stuff. I didn't get into makeup until way after high school. So I was just the quiet kid in the corner with like frizzy hair. And I had kind of a glam makeover, and everyone was like shocked that I actually looked pretty for the dance. And then also that, like, because none of my classmates knew that I had a boyfriend, so they're like, "Wait, you have a boyfriend and he's a junior? What the heck?" Because I was in marching band. That's how we met. It was through marching band.
Nice.
But another one would be probably my senior year, but I think it was like the sweetheart dance, like the Valentine's dance. That was when, so my best friend Kelsey and I actually dated in high school. And we just never got past like acting like friends. So we're like, why don't we just stay friends? Because this isn't progressing anywhere. We're just acting like how we were.
Experimenting,
but just hugging and cuddling more. That's all we're doing. But so we actually ditched our dates at that dance and started dating and left together, and we hung out at her house after. We ditched our dates. It was really funny. And then senior prom was actually on the night of my birthday, so that was really cool.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the thing that made my senior prom most memorable too was that that was the only school dance that I actually had a girlfriend at. Like I had a couple girlfriends in high school and stuff like that, but they never seemed to actually be dating me at the time of a dance.
Yeah.
And so that was, you know, really cool to actually have a girlfriend that at that point was actually more of what teenagers would consider a long-term girlfriend or whatever, of like past 6 months. So that was really nice. We actually, you know, went out and took like prom pictures and all that stuff. So that was pretty memorable. Yeah.
Whoopsie.
But you know, she ended up turning into a crazy lady. So I'm glad I avoided that.
Dodge that bullet.
Yeah.
All right. Who is the most intelligent person you know and why?
Man.
Me, it's my boss. He knows freaking everything. And he can just spit out like reasonings, and oh my god, he's so freaking smart. It's funny because I was kind of complimenting one time. I was like, "Oh my god, you're so smart! You freaking know everything." He goes, "Not everything, but close." And I'm like, "Shut up, Damon! Get out of here."
Man. It's Matt. No,
don't say me.
I'm probably my dad.
Yeah.
He's just unbelievably smart. But the thing is he's like he's so stupid at some things, but he's just like so smart to where it's just like I think the most simple of stuff is just too simple for him.
Yeah.
To where it's just like his brain is just calculating on such a higher level that it just doesn't matter. And I kind of understand that too, because like I took calculus when I was in high school, but even sometimes the simplest math problems will still kind of stump me sometimes, where I'll assume I know the answer faster than my brain has actually calculated it out.
Right.
But yeah, it's probably my dad, because I have no idea how he's just able to figure all these things out.
Yeah.
And I mean, I was gonna say his dad, but I mean, he's no longer with us. And so I was gonna maybe twist the rules and say him anyway. But
yeah. Well, this is alive.
My grandfather was very, very smart, but he's not necessarily smart in the same way my dad is.
Yeah.
My dad is just very, very, very book smart, super analytical and logical, and just understands everything involved with, what needs to be done to balance finances and all this other stuff. Like, he's so amazing in his ability, like, and all the things that he does. Whereas like my grandfather was more of like street smart. Like, he was in the military, and he was very much like a hard-working man. Like, he built his house from like himself. Like, he wasn't like the people nowadays, like, oh, I'm building my house by paying a ton of contractors to build the house for me. No, like, he built his house, laid all the bricks himself and all that stuff, and paved all the everything. Like, so, like, man, my grandfather, like, but he was really, really smart in that way of like all the different geometry and the math and the plumbing and the electrical work. And if anything broke down, like, he just knew how to fix it. And that was it.
That's awesome.
But my dad has even said a couple times that he wishes he spent more time with his own father, like working with machinery and stuff like that, because like I said, my dad is super smart. He's a pharmacist. He can tell you like all these different things, and he can calculate all this stuff out. But I mean, if the washing machine breaks, he's no better than I am at it. So right. That's what it really comes down to.
What reality TV game show or what reality TV or game show do you think we should do together?
Oh, I've always wanted to do Let's Make a Deal.
I don't think I've seen that.
That's Wayne Brady.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I've always wanted to do Let's Make a Deal, or if it was like you and me together, I guess it would have to be like the $1,000 pyramid or something like that.
I don't think I know that one either. I'm not hip on my game shows.
That's where like you have to give like one word clues to get somebody to guess like the other word.
Got you. Yeah,
and then if they get the answer right, then they might move up on the pyramid, and finally you can win the grand prize at the top of the pyramid or whatever. So
gotcha.
Someone move that rock, Gina.
You know what? Shut up. They said I'm living under a rock. Shut up. Y'all mean.
So am I.
It's all right, man. I lived a super like sheltered life when I was younger, and sometimes I realized like how like sheltered I was, but I wasn't like forced sheltered really for a lot of it. It was just like I I was homeschooled, and so like my outside influence was like very much limited in different ways until I ended up in like high school and stuff like that. So
Nano
but yeah,
says
I'm one of the few men that have never seen Scarface before.
Nathan hasn't seen it either.
I've seen bits and pieces, but I've not seen it.
He says he's seen bits and pieces, but never the
I've
whole
seen
movie.
all I need to see.
Yeah.
I understand the point of the movie, and that's what really matters. So
Nano says The Price is Right with aquarium products, right? Yeah.
Yeah, The Price is Right with aquarium products. Or just even The Price is Right. Like, yeah, I'd like to be on either The Price is Right or Let's Make a Deal. It'd be great to meet Drew Carey or Wayne Brady. I love them. And I'd like to meet like Ryan Stiles and Colin Mockery too. Like the entire cast of Whose Line Is It Anyway? I would love to meet them. I love Whose Line Is It Anyway?
Matt says he's never seen any Star Wars stuff. Get somebody move that rock that Matt is living under.
Well, I mean, it's okay if you didn't see Star Wars. More Star Wars for me.
Right.
But I mean, don't watch any of that new stuff that Disney came out with because it's just garbage.
Yeah. My coworker was just talking about that today.
Yeah. If you listen to some of the stuff that like George Lucas kind of had in mind for potential episodes 7, 8, and 9, like that would have been really cool to see. But yeah, what Disney ended up doing where they basically took existing Star Wars lore, threw it in a blender, and threw out all the stuff that they didn't like, and then just kept all that other mumbo jumbo and threw it all together in all these different movie in the first movie. And then in the second movie, they basically panicked and said, well, we need to basically fix all the issues that we screwed up in the first movie that we made. And then the third movie was like, okay, we really screwed up. So let's hire a new director. Let's just start from scratch, and I mean, let's pull out the big guns and let's just bring Luke Skywalker and Emperor Palpatine back because fuck it, we're screwed.
Matt says, "Well, I know what it is."
Series. I've heard, I haven't seen that yet, but my friend, like, I never saw the first Willow either. But my friend is like, oh man, like you got to watch the first Willow so that we can watch this Willow together because the preview looked really good, but I've heard that it's just absolutely terrible. Like the actor that plays Willow apparently lost all of his ability to act, and just like it's just terrible apparently. But I mean, I will write it out again. I have always had this feeling in my gut and in my soul that Disney ruins everything.
Yeah. Well, what was your best concert experience?
Mayhem Fest 2008. It was Slipknot as the headliner. Disturbed was second to headliner. There was also Dragon Force and Mastodon on the stage. Five Finger Death Punch was there. Suicide Silence was there. Breaking Benjamin was there. Like everybody was there. And like I think Bullet for My Valentine was there too, I think. Like so many awesome bands were there. Dragon Force, the lead singer, pretty much came like right up to me, and I was like in the crowd and stuff like that, which was awesome. I got the autographs of like everybody in Dragon Force, which was cool. Got the autographs of Five Finger Death Punch. That was my first time ever being introduced to Five Finger Death Punch. And I'm just like, man, this band is incredible live. Like, I wonder what their albums are like. So I bought their CD, had all the guys sign the CD. And honestly, I was happier with their live stuff than I was with the CD, which I mean, was kind of a little disappointing. But on the other hand, like, if you're better live than you are on your CD, like that's actually a good thing, in my opinion. You know, so because I mean, I've seen many bands that are really, really good when it comes to, you know, their CD with all the editing and all the added stuff that they put in there. But you see them live, they can't even perform the music. One of those bands is Fall Out Boy.
Yeah.
He cannot sing half of the music that he records, yet he just continues to record it. And I don't understand. But yeah, that was an awesome concert. And so that was my first time seeing Disturbed live, which was absolutely incredible. They had this full like metal mountain that the drum was up on top of, like 2 stories up in the air. It was incredible. And then when Slipknot came out, that was my first time seeing Slipknot too. And it was just, I mean, they put on a good show in general. Because I mean, there's 9 people on the stage, all just doing all this different stuff. No matter where you look, there's something going on, which is just great to begin with. And then they just had a really, really cool stage and so much pyro and all this stuff going on, which was just awesome. And the DJ at the time, like on that tour, he had jumped off the 2nd story of the stage onto the 1st and actually broke both of his legs. And so when he was in St. Louis, he was in a wheelchair and still just going nuts in the wheelchair. And just, it was absolutely incredible. And I loved it. Oh man, it's so cool. And then that was one of the last years that Joey Jordison was still with us as well. And that year he had a rising drum set that it rose and it was spinning as it was rising. And then when it got way up high, it leaned forward a full 90 degrees, and you realize that he's strapped in and the drum set is full strapped in and all that stuff. He's in like a car, like racing chair with a seatbelt and everything. And he's just going crazy on this drum set. I think the song was People Equal Shit or something like that. And then while it's at the 90 degrees, the whole thing just continues to start rotating to where he's facing straight up in the air and still drumming. And then it rotates back and he's facing straight down again. And then it starts to go back. It's just like, holy cow, that's just so awesome.
Yeah.
Man, that was such a great show. I don't know if anything will ever top that.
That doesn't sound awesome. I don't really go to a lot of concerts, but one good one that we went to was Zac Brown Band. They were really good live.
Zac Brown, huh?
Yeah, that was a long time ago. That was like one of our first like outing dates.
That was probably one of our biggest dates.
Yeah, that was like one of our big date, like one of our first big dates that we went on when we first started dating.
Yeah, nice. My first concert ever was Switchfoot at like at the St. Louis like fairgrounds or whatever, like under the arch. And yeah, it was like a free concert or whatever. Somebody got me tickets and we went, and that was a really, really cool show too. They were really good, but yeah, it wasn't like the same sort of thing. It was just, you know, guys on stage playing their instruments and stuff, man. Like Slipknot really put on a crazy show.
Yeah.
Oh, Evanescence 2020. Yeah, but that was the Evanescence and Korn concert, right? That was I wanted to go to that one because I know Korn and Amy Lee had a version of Freak on a Leash that they did unplugged on MTV years back, and I heard that Amy Lee came out and sang Freak on a Leash with Korn during that concert. It's like, I wanted to see that.
How do you feel about public speaking?
I mean, here I am on YouTube.
But honestly, this is different. Like, this is so much different than like giving like presentations in school and stuff.
Yeah. I had to give a speech when I was in 8th grade, and it was like really like nerve-wracking and aggravating at first, and especially because I really embarrassed myself right away. But making that sort of embarrassing thing happen at the beginning kind of ended up like, by the end of it, I felt fine. And so it's more like, why did I have all the anxiety in the first place? Like, it's not like I died or anything like that. But I did my speech on like skateboarding. And so it was like, the first thing was like what skateboarding is, and then it was like the different types of skateboarding, and then it was, different professionals in skateboarding and stuff like that. And my opening statement with my speech was supposed to be a skateboard is a board with 4 wheels on it. And I said a skateboard is a piece of wood with 2 wheels on it.
Oh no.
Yeah, how did I embarrass myself? Yeah. I can't count to 4. I can only count to 2.
Yep. That's funny. Yeah, no, I hate public speaking. That's like whenever Scotty starts talking about, oh, you could have a presentation at the Clash, and I'm like, nope, nope, no, thank you. That is completely different in person in front of a bunch of live people than on stream. No, thank you.
Yeah. When it comes down to it in general, I'm always have a really nervous start, but once I get going, next thing I know, I've talked for like 20 minutes, and it's just like, wow, okay, I guess I gotta shut up now.
Right.
Yeah, The Lion King was an absolutely incredible show, and I agree. Yeah, the puppetry, the music, everything is just awesome.
I've never actually seen the Lion King on Broadway. I need to.
Yeah, we were at the Fox Theater and saw it there, and it was just incredible. And when it comes down to it, seeing the Lion King at the Fox, like, you almost get a better experience actually sitting farther back in some of the cheaper seats.
Yeah.
Because you get to see the entire stage as a whole, and you get all the extra stuff that they add into all the balconies and stuff, and it's not like too far out of your view. And then also, yeah, the makeup and stuff just looks absolutely incredible when you're that far away. You'd swear there's actual giraffes walking on the stage.
Right.
Yeah, sitting in the back is so much better. Yeah.
Yeah, I've seen Cats at the Fox a couple times. I love Cats.
I don't think I've ever seen Cats.
I have it on Blu-ray. I can let you borrow it.
My brother was even in Cats when he was in college, and I didn't go see it there because, like, I don't know, it just kind of freaks me out.
Yeah.
A little bit, especially this new live action one.
Oh yeah, I never saw that one. I don't plan.
That is terrible. Just creepy.
What was an irrational?
Good. Before you move on to that question,
okay,
I want to do this question. What is your favorite Broadway production? I know it's towards Lady Rorschach, but I'm going to answer it anyway. My favorite Broadway production / musical / like thing in general or whatever is Les Miserables.
Yeah.
I love Les Miserables. 1, you can put on an incredible show with it. 2, it's just got an incredible message that just completely transcends time and is fully relevant in today's world just as it was back then. And it's just a great story. And the music is just absolutely incredible. It's got all these different levels of harmonies and all these different chord progressions that are just absolutely beautiful and make your hair stand up, and it's just, I just love it.
Yeah.
What's your favorite Broadway production or musical or whatever?
Probably Cats.
Cats?
I love it so much. Oh, or Little Shop of Horrors is a favorite.
Little Shop of Horrors is a good one.
Yeah.
Yeah. I played the Audrey 2 in high school.
Yeah. What was an irrational fear you had as a kid?
An irrational. Oh, no, see, this is a good one. I was never actually truly afraid of E.T. himself, but I always had this irrational fear. So we had our bathroom on our main first level of the house. The toilet was like right next to a window, and we had a really decent big backyard, so it was just pitch black. So I always had this irrational fear that I'd be standing there, urinating, and I'd have some weird sort of like ET monster pop up in the window.
Oh my gosh. Yes, I had that too. I still do. Like my windows have to be covered at night. But yeah, I had something similar. My dad and I think my dad and my sister went out to eat or went to go pick up food or something without me. I don't know if I was just having a bad night and I just didn't want to go, so I stayed home. But I remember calling him because I freaked myself out. I was like, Dad, I need you to come home like ASAP because I don't know why. Nothing happened. Like there's nobody outside, but like I'm freaking myself out. Like,
yeah.
I just have a feeling that somebody's watching me through the windows. I don't know why. Nobody is. Like nothing happened. There's nobody out there, but I need you to come home because I'm freaking out.
Oh, and I had something kind of like that happen too. It was me and my brother. We were the only two home. Like my mom, my dad was at work. My sisters were all, I don't know, out doing something or whatever. And my mom might have even taken my sisters out with her or something like that. But basically, it's just me and my brother. I think I'm like, I don't know. I'm like 11 years old, and my brother's like 8 or 9. And we're home alone, and nobody told us anything. And all of a sudden, there's roofers on the roof.
Oh no!
And we didn't like look out the window or anything. We just heard all these different noises and stuff going on.
Yeah.
And I think, about halfway through, I eventually, kind of figured out what was going on, and I was just kind of more playing along with it to, with my brother and all that stuff. But at first, we were like actually genuinely kind of freaked out as to what was going on, and like pretty much we're like locking ourselves in our parents' bathroom, holding on to like a hair dryer and a curling iron, like the only weapons that we could find. And just like we're gonna barricade on ourselves in here. We're gonna do like our last stand in this bathroom to whatever comes into this house.
That's funny. When was the last time you laughed so hard you cried?
I cannot remember what we were laughing at, or maybe it was just a combination of so many different things. But the same like friend that I went to see tonight for a graduation party at Mattingly's, it was one of her and her husband's game nights at their house. It was either Christmas or Thanksgiving or one of those two. But I always seem to laugh really, really hard when I'm at their house because we just have so much fun. And like, I'm super blunt. She's super blunt. We can just openly joke about whatever the hell we want to joke about because we both know that like there's no harm and offense or anything to what we're saying.
Yeah.
So it's, man, we will just make ourselves laugh so hard that like we will literally be just falling on the floor.
Yeah. Same. It was probably a game night, and we all probably started laughing, and then Marco started laughing, like imitating, and she sounds just like a human. And so I started laughing at that, and then I was crying laughing. It was great.
Yeah. That's got to be pretty funny with a bird that just starts laughing too.
Yeah, it is. She gets me going, and it's hilarious. If you had to wear an outfit every day for the rest of your life, what would it be?
I don't know. I had a lot of fun wearing that Viking outfit for the Renaissance Fair.
There you go.
I know what yours is.
What's mine?
Pajamas.
Pajamas. Yep.
Pajamas.
I wear pajamas every day.
When it really comes down to it, yeah, my pajama pants and like one of my merch shirts, whether it be like my Want to Cuddle t-shirt, or whatever else. That's it. Yeah, I'd be super comfortable with that.
Here we go. Here's a little bit of a controversial one. On a first date, who should pay the bill? Should it be split? What's your opinion?
When it really comes down to it, it's whoever asks the other person on the date.
Yep.
That pays for it.
Yep.
But genuinely, generically speaking and genuinely speaking, women rarely ask a dude out on a date. It's most of the time the dude asking the girl out on a date. So generally the dude's going to pay for it. I got no problems actually splitting the first one. I really feel, especially in today's day and age where everybody's working, everybody's trying to do the same sort of thing. Like the first date really probably should just be split because then nobody's out any more than the other person. I mean, be honest, like girls aren't putting in some crazy extravagant sort of effort on like makeup and all that stuff on the first date unless it's like Leonardo DiCaprio or something. So like nowadays they should really just be split on the first check. But when it comes down to it, I'm pretty traditional. Like I have absolutely no problem paying for the check and doing what role I'm supposed to do. I want to be, I wish I could be a provider and, have an entire family and run a family like my dad did. Oh my God. And apparently my dad made no more money than I did when he was like my age at the time of when he was like fresh out of college and all that stuff and somehow managed all 5 of his kids in a much larger house. And it's like, man, the times really sure have changed.
And inflation, but yeah. Yeah, I'm of the same opinion. I mean, I haven't dated. We've been together, coming on 13 years now? So I haven't dated in a long time. But yeah, I agree. In this day and age, probably just obviously communicate it before you get there. But I could see splitting becoming common.
I know. See, I never communicated before I get there. That's all. It's all part of like the test or whatever, too.
Yeah.
Because here's the thing: I have absolutely no problem paying for the whole check, but I want the girl to at least do the little game of how much is mine, or whatever. I wanted to at least offer to pay her part, And I actually went on a date and the girl basically tricked me and made me look at my phone. And next thing I knew, she got up and she paid for the date. And I thought that was really awesome.
Yeah.
So I mean, hey, whatever happens, whatever. Exactly.
Reach.
She got to at least do the reach, Like I want her to grab her purse and at least start going for the money. To be like, hey, no, it's cool. I got it.
Yeah.
Like one, it's good. Like it's an ego boost for the guy to be like, no, you know what? I got it. Guys like that sort of thing. But then 2, we also want to know that, you're willing to pay for what you did. Like, I mean, especially if you're going to get really expensive food. Like if we go somewhere and I get like a cheeseburger and you walk out with like full on surf and turf or something like that, like, I'm sorry, I'm not paying for that.
Yeah, and
I
exactly.
might pay for it, but we're not going out on a date ever again. Like,
yeah, yeah. I don't know. That's why I would want to communicate at first. Like, if you're looking at the menus, just to be like, "Hey, are we splitting this? Because I kind of want this more expensive meal, and I don't have a problem paying for it." Like,
and I mean, if it comes up in like a genuine conversation, like,
yeah,
that's great. Like, I'm fine with that sort of thing. Like, I mean, communication is key no matter what. But
yeah,
I mean, when you're like getting the first date going, like, I I'm not gonna be like, hey, so I'm thinking about going to Red Lobster, but I can't really I'm not really sure if I want to
yeah,
pay for you. So like, are you
right.
gonna pay for your half, or if I'm paying, then maybe we should start at Longhorn instead of Red Lobster. I don't know.
Right.
And see, that is the right thing to do, Bunny, is you never order anything more expensive than your date. You know,
Yeah,
you never order anything more expensive than your date unless you are for sure paying for it, you know? Then you can order whatever the hell you want. If you're paying for it, order whatever you want. But if you force me to end up paying for something super expensive, like,
yeah.
we're not going on a second date. Sorry.
All these are lame. Okay, what is a kitchen appliance that you cannot function without? A microwave.
Yeah, a microwave pretty much. I was gonna be one of those people and say an air fryer.
Well, see,
I've
okay,
fallen in love with my air fryer, and I can't believe I've become one of those people because
yeah,
that's how it is. It's all the time. Like, you don't have an air fryer, and everybody that has an air fryer is like, "Oh man, my air fryer is the greatest thing ever. I use it for all this other stuff," and everybody's like, "No, air fryers really just aren't that great." And then you finally get an air fryer, and
yeah.
then you become an air fryer person.
I was gonna say air fryer, but then I was like, well, if I want ramen, I can make that in the microwave. Can't make that in an air fryer. Well, I don't know if you can't, but
You could probably boil some water in the air fryer.
probably could, yeah. But yeah, microwave.
No, Nano Aquarium guy actually gave the correct answer. No, it's actually coffee maker.
Coffee maker.
I could not survive without my coffee maker. I mean, I probably could survive without it, but I would not be very happy.
A can opener.
Coffee is my lifeblood. It's 9:38, and I'm still drinking it.
Yeah. So a can opener, I guess technically an electric can opener would be an appliance.
I can use a knife. I don't need a can opener.
But a manual can opener, is that considered an appliance? That's a tool. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a tool, not an appliance, unless it's electric.
Yeah.
If you have one of those fancy electric can openers where you just stick the can to it and it does all the work for you, that's an appliance, I guess.
Those freak me out. I hate using those. They freak me out.
Yeah, I don't like those either.
My uncle had one when I was living with him.
Any brand I'd recommend. Hold on a second. Let me get what brand mine is.
So my uncle had an electric can opener that was like mounted to the underside of the cabinet. And he would always give me trouble for not using it because I'd pull out the manual one and use it. He's like, there's an electric one. I'm like, yeah, and it freaks me out. I don't like it.
I think the one time you tried to open it, just dropped it.
Yeah, so the one time I used it, because it like latched in, the can would latch in and it would turn it, and then you like unlatch it to pull it out. It dropped it and just spilled crap everywhere. And I was like, yep, I'm never using this again. I freaking hate it. I hate it. I'm drinking coffee flavored rum. Does that count? There you go.
Coffee flavored rum. All right.
I didn't hear the appliance part. I'd choose coffee pot too. Yeah.
Okay.
I just bought an electric can opener. It cuts smooth edges. There you go. Yeah. I don't know. They just freak me out.
Okay, so I found my air fryer. At least this might be a newer model, but this is what I got. The Power XL air fryer oven, 10 quart. So you can use it as a rotisserie, a food dehydrator, lots of different things. It's got, an actual like oven door that opens where it's got different trays. You can also buy other accessories like the little fryer basket it's showing there and some other stuff. So it's got a good, space in there and big enough where you can fit a whole chicken in there if you wanted. And then it gets up to 400 degrees, and you can cook everything in there. I'm telling you, I've cooked burgers from raw and frozen. I've cooked chicken wings and mini hot corn dogs, and I've made grilled cheese sandwiches in the air fryer before. I guess they're technically not grilled cheese, but it's like, melted cheese and air fried bread, which it's actually quite interesting because the bread gets kind of a texture of like croutons.
Oh,
so it's quite interesting, especially if you butter the top. Oh, it's so good. But I've had so much fun with my air fryer. And when it comes down to it, I still use my microwave for some things, but if I can use the air fryer, I pretty much do use the air fryer because it really, especially if I get stuff that has like directions for an oven, I can put it in the air fryer and I can cook it at the same temperature in half the time. Because of the way that the air circulates and stuff in there, and it just heats up super fast because it's smaller and like more contained and actually kind of more or less airtight. It's not truly airtight, but I mean it seals pretty nicely where it holds the heat in there. How hard is it to clean? So I mean the bottom of it is it has like a non-stick tray on the bottom, so any like oils or greases or anything like that drips down to the bottom, I just take a paper towel and just wipe it clean. And then any sort of crumbs and stuff, you just blow it out pretty much. It's super easy to clean. And then all the different trays and stuff that you can pull out, you can just throw those in the dishwasher if you want. I haven't truly cleaned mine hardcore yet because I like all that extra seasoning and stuff in there.
Ma'am, I think Boots Cats is a lady. Ma'am, you're right. Yeah, I can't live without a refrigerator. That's true.
Interesting that nobody's refrigerator. Yeah, that's true.
That is true.
That is true. That's like a duh.
Yeah. You right. You got us.
Just looked it up on Amazon, put it on the list. Yeah, I mean, I think that model was like $150 or less than that, so it's really not that bad.
So, Bunny, I use
foil in the air fryer. Yes, you can.
Yeah, I use parchment paper in mine, but yeah, you can use foil.
It's not. It doesn't use the like microwaves or anything like that, like like a microwave does. It literally has like a heating device in there that heats up the air, and then like fan systems that move the air around and keep the hot air moving. So it's basically like a fryer, but it's using the air. Whereas like you can't put foil in a microwave because it reacts to the actual microwaves and causes electric current to go above among the foil and all that. But we're gonna really come down to it too. With microwaves, technically you can put metal in the microwave if it doesn't have any points. So like if it was like a perfectly round metal ball, you could put it in the microwave and it would be fine. It would not blow up your microwave. You wouldn't be able to touch that metal ball when it came out. It's going to be like scorching hot. But what actually causes the issue with metal in the microwave is the different points, because it turns the metal conductive, and then the points between the metal, you start having electricity arc between the two, and that's what causes the sparking and all the explosions and stuff in your microwave. So don't put metal in your microwave, because the likeliness of it being perfectly smooth is very, very low.
I've been on a fish sticks and sweet potato fries kick. I come home, throw that in the air fryer. Mine's one of those that like has that basket that pulls out. Mine's not fancy like yours. I may have to upgrade it. But yeah, I love it.
Yeah. It is a convection oven, more or less. They're the same thing, basically. Like convection ovens have a certain like shape to them, where air fryers are. They first started like being more like they had these trays, like it was like a fryer tray, but instead of sticking the tray in oil, you just stick it in the machine and it air fries it. But nowadays they're making more of like combinations between the two, which is what that one is it's an air fryer oven is what that's like labeled as.
They're actually making like whole ass ranges that are ovens and air fryers. And I think microwave too. Whenever I went to go buy a microwave for work, they have microwave / air fryer combinations.
Yeah. They have all that stuff. It's amazing what they've got nowadays.
Maybe we'll have to get rid of our old air fryer and our microwave and get one of those microwave air fryer combinations. Nathan's shaking his head like, dear God, no.
Heating coil and air movement. That's all it is. So yeah, you can put metal in there. You can make muffins. I've made biscuits in there. Like Schwann's has frozen biscuits. And so I just stick a couple biscuits in there, put it on 350 degrees for 15 minutes. And I got 2 delicious biscuits right after 15 minutes are up.
Freaking biscuits.
Yeah.
I want biscuits now. Oh my God. Bread.
Carbohydrates.
I want bread. We've started our diet back up and we don't have any bread in the house. Well, we have some tortillas, but yeah, but like we stopped getting bagels and we stopped getting
I love bagels.
I freaking love bread.
I love bread too. Where the hell did I put my...
Oh my God, but like on my days off, I would just cook a whole 10 of biscuits and just eat those. I freaking love bread.
I think I took my coffee cup into the kitchen when I was looking at the air fryer.
Uh-oh.
Yep, I did.
Lady Rorschach's back. Hello, hello.
This thing goes with me everywhere. Unless I'm like not allowed to bring beverages.
Yeah.
Like I don't take it into restaurants with me, but it goes with me in the car ride to and from the restaurant.
Yep.
And I'll take it into Target with me, and whenever I go grocery shopping, because they have the holders in their carts. So
I think they started doing that because of some locations have Starbucks in them.
Yeah, that's why they started doing it. But I mean, if you go to, a Taco Bell or something like that and you got your soda or whatever too, like they don't get mad at you if you bring your soda in. So,
right.
Unless you spill it, then they get mad at you. That's while they clean it up.
Yeah.
Oh, if you look right in the bubbles, well, not so much anymore. But right in the bubbles, there was the 2 that were mating, I think.
We're fighting to the death. We won't know for like a week or so.
Yeah. I don't think brine shrimp are cannibalistic.
We'll see. I have hair algae in my freaking shrimp tank. I need to get rid of it. Danny, how do I get rid of it?
How do you get rid of what?
I have like hair algae in my shrimp tank.
Oh. Well, if it's hair algae, you can actually use Algae Fix. Use a little bit of Algae Fix if you want to, or just turn the light off, for a couple days, and it'll like die off, and you can just pull it all out. And then from then on, after you cut the light off for a couple days, reduce the light cycle. So whatever you're on, like if you're on like 9 hours now, after you cut it off for 2 days, cut it down to like 5 or 6 hours for a few days, and then maybe ramp it back up to like 7 or 8 hours after that. But that I had that issue in one of my tanks too, where every so often it gets a hair algae issue, and that's just kind of what I do. But I do eventually just put it back up to the full time, and then I eventually get more hair algae again. So.
Okay, I guess I just won't look at my shrimp for a few days.
Now, see, yeah, Lady Rorschach has the actual Emerald Lagasse brand, which is the one that I like actually wanted if I was to ever buy myself an air fryer.
But they have like the French oven doors, right? Like the double doors. Yeah.
And it comes with like all the accessories you need for like an actual rotisserie chicken and all that stuff. But I was gifted this air fryer. A friend of mine had gotten it for Christmas a few years back, and surprise, surprise, they actually only used it like once or twice and realized that they didn't really care much for an air fryer. And so it just sat on their counter for forever. And they're like, "Hey, Danny, you want an air fryer?" I'm like, "Hell yeah."
Oh, hell yeah.
They both work well, so I can't complain about either one. My only issue with the ones with the trays is that they make it seem like you can cook so much food in there, but you really can't. Like, they make it seem like you can fill up the entire tray full of fries and shove it in there, and your fries are going to come out just fine. But it's not true in reality. You got to kind of mix the fries up every so often and plug it back in, or you just got to cook less fries and just like fill up the bottom tray and remove those and then add more fries later on. Like, it doesn't work quite the way it was originally advertised, whereas mine actually does. Like, you can put things on all the different trays, and you can cook an entire steak dinner all at once by putting the steak in there, putting the asparagus in there, putting like a potato in there in aluminum foil, and you can freaking bake your potato while you're cooking your steak and doing your vegetables and stuff all at the same time. And you put the steak on the top, and the juices from the steak just drip all over your vegetables and just make them come out like extra crispy and stuff too. Like, yeah.
Yeah, that's another reason why I need to upgrade my air fryers, because it's big enough for one person to be cooking their stuff, but if I'm cooking like chicken nuggets for Nathan and I, it only fits like 15 nuggets in there whenever we want like 20 plus. So
that emerald one looks awesome. I know it does, doesn't it?
Yeah.
We need a cooking stream, infomercial style.
Uh-oh.
No, I'm good on that.
Not in my
case. We're not going to do cooking with Glassbox Hero unless we're talking about like, I would only do that if I was like, making like a fish food or something like that. And then I'd be like, all right, well, welcome to the Glassbox Hero kitchen. Today we're making brine shrimp cake. All right. So first you take your brine shrimp and your spirulina powder and you mix it all up and you throw it in the blender.
Right.
Yeah, if I was doing something like that, I'd probably do it. But no, I'm not gonna taint my channel by putting a couple things of this is how you air fry some chicken wings.
Airbox Hero. Oh my God, Bunny.
Airbox Hero.
That's funny. Okay, one last question because we got 5 minutes.
We got 5 minutes.
Do you remember your first memory?
My first memory.
Your very first memory. You probably would have been about 2 to 3 years old.
I'm not sure if it's like my first like memory. I don't know.
I do.
I want to say like the first thing that I like really remember from when I was a kid, like the youngest I can go back, was me and my brother had these like skateboarding Barney toys that we got from McDonald's Happy Meals or something like that. I'm not 100% sure where we got them from, but I think it was from that. And I just remember that we would play with these all the time, and we'd be in the kitchen because they were like the first like pullback toys that we ever had, where you pull it back and you let it go, and Barney would skateboard off.
Yep.
And I think we just annoyed my mom with them so much that she just eventually threw them away. Cause I just remember, next thing I know, my Barney toy is gone, and I couldn't find it anywhere. So like that's what I really remember. I mean, but I remember like when my brother got potty trained and stuff like that too. So I don't know if that was before then or not. Like, I just remember that's like one of the earliest memories that I really have, though. I have no idea how old I was.
So for me, it was back when my parents were still together. I was sitting like at the bottom of the stairs, and I remember my older sister was in front of me, and I think she was like poking me or something. But I remember wanting her to stop, so I started crying like she had hurt me. And then my mom goes, "Donna, leave Gina alone." She's like, "But I didn't do it. I don't care. Separate." And I just started laughing. Like that was like my first memory.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
I mean, okay, so I think based off of how I'm thinking about the timeline and stuff, yeah, I had to have been probably like maybe 3 or 4 years old when I had those Barney toys, and my brother had to have been like 2, because like, yeah, we were very, very small. And I know it was before I had my first kiss, and I had my first kiss when I was 5, and she slapped me. Yeah, that was the same reaction she had too. The funny thing is like we'll still kind of joke about it even nowadays and stuff. And
yeah,
I was at her wedding and all that, and yep. And I told her husband on her wedding day or whatever too. It's like, listen, you have no idea the history I have with this girl, or maybe you do, but if you ever do anything to hurt her, and I'm serious, anything to hurt her, I will kill you.
Aww. Aww.
I remember mine. The lesson was, do unto others. I wanted to keep a grasshopper, and my mom explained that I would be taking him away from his happy life and family. I didn't want to do that. My mom. Well, there you go. That is a sweet sentiment. Your mom is awesome. Yeah. My parents never gave me that sort of sentiment. I had so many different creatures and things as pets when I was a kid.
Oh my God, when I worked at Petco, and anytime someone would bring in like a box turtle that they found, and I explained that they should really put them back, they would try to like turn their kid on me by going, "Now, this lady says that you can't keep this animal as a pet. Tell the lady what you think about her telling you can't have a pet." And they'd look at me and not know what to say. And I'm like, "Okay, but like you're taking him away from his home. He probably has a family." And the parents would be like, "Oh, you weren't supposed to say something like that." I'm like, "Sorry, it's true."
It is true. I mean, especially with like I don't care about a lot of different things or whatever. I mean, some things are fine being kept in captivity like that or whatever. But yeah, box turtles are not.
Yeah.
Most people just don't understand that box turtles don't even have like an actual like true home. They're like constantly migrating and all that stuff. So to keep them in one location just completely goes against everything that a box turtle is.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yep.
Lots of pets.
Oh yeah. But she knew when you were very, very young that, you know, you weren't able to care for that grasshopper properly. So she had a very intelligent way of getting you to make that decision for yourself to not keep it as a pet, which I love. I think that's what that's you got a really good mom there. That's all I gotta say. You got a really, really good mom to be able to, you know, get you to understand at such a young age.
Yeah.
Yeah, moron, raise your own kids if you don't like what I'm saying.
Yep.
Man, yeah, some of these people just do not know how to raise kids at all. And that's why I really appreciate, you know, the great parents that are out there like Ivy's mom and like my parents and all that stuff because gosh, like some of the horror stories that I can even share from just at the pet store, like with these kids, or at Target with people's kids and stuff like that. Like you really get to experience the audacity of terrible children when you work in retail, because like parents, especially the bad parents, they can't afford proper daycare and stuff like that. So they will just literally drop their kids off at Walmart and Target or the mall or it's kind of changed over time. It used to be the mall. Now malls don't really exist anymore. Now people are dropping kids off at Targets and Walmart and just leaving them there for hours to just cause chaos. And then they'll just pick them up later.
We actually had that at my first Petco that I worked at. The kid was fine. It wasn't a concern. Like the kid wasn't messing stuff up. He was actually super polite, probably the best well-behaved kid, but he was like 11 or 12, like too young to be left at a store by himself. And he was there for like 2 hours before we like realized that he was still there without a parent. And we asked, we're like, hey, is your parent here? Oh no, she had to go run and do some errands. She just told me to hang out here. And I'm like, okay. I even told him, I was like, okay, I just want to preface this by saying you have done nothing wrong. This is not your fault, but your mom should not have left you here unaccompanied. Like, and we had to like call the police and everything. It was a whole ordeal.
Yep. And I mean, gosh, at Pet Supplies Plus, I had like a group of like 4 or 5 young kids just ride their bikes up and walk into the store. And I mean, in general, they were actually being fairly well behaved.
Yeah.
They just were like, they were causing problems without actually like causing problems. Like I'm trying to get my work done and stuff, and I got this kid that's just super intrigued by everything that I'm saying and is just like asking me all these questions about the animals, and I have such a hard time focusing on one thing or the other. Like I'm very much a one track mind. Like I cannot multitask very well. And so, like, if you're asking me all these questions about the guinea pigs, I got no problem telling you all about the guinea pigs, but that involves me also walking over to the guinea pigs and sitting there and then showing you all these different things and getting completely sidetracked from my work. And
the mom actually ended up showing up when the cops were there, and she threw a whole fit. And the cops even told her, like, they're not a babysitting service. Like, so, but he didn't do anything wrong, did he? And it's like, well, no, but it's just we have people that bring untrained dogs into this building. Like, if your child got bit and we had to send them somewhere, like, that's like a huge liability. Like, that's a huge liability.
Exactly. That was a good example to say, like, people bring the dog. What if your kid got bit? And what do we do with it then? Like,
right. So
yeah. But yeah, when she's like, did he do anything wrong? I would have been like, no, you did.
Oh, that's what my manager did. He was like, no, you did. We're not a daycare. We're a business, and you can't just leave your kid here.
Yeah, people need to really grapple with the fact that being a parent requires being there for their kid and gives them guidance. Yeah, and that's why I'm really like, it's so hard to properly raise a child in today's society. And what I mean by that is like, I feel like I don't care which parent it is. If you got a really successful woman that is willing to have a stay-at-home father raise the kids or whatever, that works for you, that's great. But I just really feel like there needs to be one parent home to actually raise the kids and take care of the house while the other parent is out there working and getting all the money, because it just has worked over, the centuries of time. And then like that gives you the chance to properly influence your kids in the best way that a parent can. People rely way too much on the school system to raise their kids into good adults, and then when their kids end up being bad adults, like they don't even blame themselves because they weren't even involved in their kid's life or whatever. It's absolutely ridiculous, and it's just sad. And that's the main reason why I don't have any kids, because like I'm not prepared to raise my kids the way that I know I should raise my kids. So I don't have any kids.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, the high schoolers that freak out when you take away their phones.
Yeah.
I wouldn't want to. Yeah, I wouldn't want to raise kids these days. And then you try and raise a good citizen to this world or whatever, and nobody else cares with their kids, and so their stupid kids influence your kid to do stupid things.
Yeah.
I know, because I was one of the stupid kids that got influenced to do stupid things. No, I'm kidding.
That's funny.
Only a family could survive on one income. It's a waste to have a second job that only pays for daycare anyway. Was exactly.
Yeah.
If you're basically only doing the second job to pay for not having your kids in the house in the first place, like just raise the damn kids.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's not up to the schools. Like I saw this meme on Facebook years ago, and at the time that it came out, I was like, okay, like I kind of agree with that. But then, like, after thinking about it for like 10 minutes or so, I was like, you know what? That's actually not a good idea at all, because that's not the school's responsibility. It was like a meme that basically was like, what if schools had a class that was like life class, where they taught you things like how to change a tire, how to do your taxes, how to balance a checkbook, and all this other stuff. And it's like, yeah, why don't schools have that? But then it's like, well, wait a minute. No, that's not the school's job. It's the parents' job to teach you how to live life and how to do things or whatever. The school's job is to teach you basic arithmetic, English, things like that. They're not supposed to teach you how to do other stuff, how to live life and think and other stuff like that. Like that's what your parents are here for.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's hard being a single mom, I'm sure. And it's hard being a single parent. I'm not going to get into that whole thing right now either, but I will if he won't his love. Yeah. I'll buy my own dinner when we got. Danny, you want to have babies? Whoa, I'm reading the conversation backwards. Okay. The parents don't know how to do those. Yeah, I know some parents don't even know how to do those things. Exactly, Yeah, if your parents don't know how to change a tire, how are they supposed to teach you how to change a tire? And yeah, you're right, Scoop Steve. Bunny is a catch. Oh no, don't kid. No, she's totally a catch. Anyway, we're 10 minutes overdue here.
We are.
Yeah. That was a fun stream. I'm glad you had those little questions and stuff. That was definitely fun. And it passed the time quite nicely.
I'm not even halfway through the deep deck. So yeah, there's a ton more questions.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, all right. Thank you everybody for joining us. I'm really excited to keep working on my saltwater tank. I'm getting more and more things coming in for it. And I just got to start working on getting everything together once I get all my stuff. It's exciting. And then once I get all that plumbing done, and I start filling it all up, and I start getting it all cycled and stuff, and I start saving up money for lights.
Yes.
Yeah. Not kidding about her being a catch. Exactly. Okay. Well, everybody, I will see you guys next week on another episode of Fishing Friends. I believe. Yeah, I don't have anything going on next week. Well, one of my customers invited me over to make some sausage with all of his deer meat and some different stuff. And so I get to make some sausage and then probably walk home with some of it too. So that'll be nice. But that'll be in the morning. Thank you for the awesome live stream. Love you all so much. Hope you take care. Yes. Yes. Thank you, everybody, for joining us.
Yes.
I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did, because I definitely had fun tonight.
Yeah.
Thank you, Gina, for those questions. That was great.
You're welcome.
Got anything else you want to say?
No. Just bye.
Peace and chicken grease.
Yep.
Thank you, everybody. I will see you next week on another episode of Fishing Friends with Danny and Gina. So long, and thanks for the fish.